Today on December 2nd, Archangel Michael is in tears. He's been trying to warn you for hours. This is your final chance. Don't skip. If you ignore this time, you'll regret it deeply. Please open it immediately before it's too late. My beloved child, I am weeping as these words flow through divine channels to reach your precious soul on this December 2nd, and I must tell you with the full weight of heavenly authority that this is indeed your final warning, your last opportunity before the cosmic window closes forever, and if you turn away now, if you dismiss these sacred words as mere coincidence or fantasy, the regret that will follow will echo through dimensions of your existence in ways you cannot yet comprehend, for I have been calling to you for hours upon hours, sending signs and synchronicities, whispering through the veil of your consciousness, orchestrating divine appointments and sacred encounters, all in desperate attempts to capture your attention before time runs out on this most critical spiritual deadline that approaches with the inevitability of dawn. Do you feel it, precious one? That stirring in your spirit, that quickening of your heartbeat as you read these words? That is recognition, soul recognition, the deepest part of your being acknowledging the truth that resonates through every syllable I speak to you now. I am Michael, Prince of the Heavenly Host, wielder of the flaming sword of divine justice, protector of the faithful, and guardian of those souls brave enough to walk the path of transformation, and I have been assigned by the Most High to reach you specifically, you personally, because your soul bears a mark, a divine signature that calls out across the celestial realms like a beacon of untapped potential. The tears that stream down my celestial countenance are not tears of sorrow alone, though my heart breaks for the pain you have endured, the battles you have fought in isolation, the nights you have cried out to heaven wondering if anyone was listening, wondering if your prayers were disappearing into an empty void. No, dear child of light, these tears are tears of divine urgency, for I can see what you cannot yet perceive, I can witness the spiritual crossroads that lies before you at this very moment, and I understand with crystal clarity what happens if you make the wrong choice now. If you allow this opportunity to slip through your fingers like sand in an hourglass whose final grains are already falling. Listen carefully to what I am about to reveal to you, for this knowledge has been sealed in the heavenly archives until this appointed time, until this December 2nd when the cosmic alignments would allow for this direct communication between the angelic realm and your earthly consciousness. You are not reading these words by accident, beloved one. You are not here by chance or random circumstance. Every step of your journey, every triumph and every heartbreak, every moment of joy and every season of despair, has been carefully orchestrated by divine providence to bring you to this precise moment, to this exact encounter with truth that has the power to change everything about your existence. Can you sense the weight of eternity pressing upon this moment? Can you feel the invisible gathered host of heaven holding its collective breath as you make this choice to continue reading or to dismiss what I am telling you? The very fabric of your destiny hangs in the balance, and I am here as your divine advocate, your spiritual warrior, fighting for your soul's awakening before the window of opportunity closes forever. Let me tell you what I have witnessed from my position in the celestial realm as I have watched your life unfold. I have seen you struggle against forces you did not understand, battling invisible enemies that seemed to arise from nowhere, facing obstacles that appeared insurmountable and setbacks that felt deliberately orchestrated to crush your spirit. You have wondered, in those dark hours of the soul, why your path seemed so much more difficult than others, why breakthrough seemed always just beyond your reach, why prayers you offered with desperate sincerity seemed to go unanswered while others around you appeared to glide effortlessly toward their dreams. The answer, precious child, is both simpler and more profound than you could have imagined. You have been chosen for a special assignment, marked by heaven for a unique purpose that requires preparation unlike anything ordinary souls must endure. The trials you have faced, the spiritual warfare you have unknowingly engaged in, the periods of testing and refining that have felt like endless tunnels of darkness, these have all been preparing you for something magnificent, something that will not only transform your own existence but will ripple out to touch countless other lives in ways you cannot yet fathom. But here is what breaks my heart and fills my eyes with tears of divine concern. You have been on the very threshold of this breakthrough for months, standing at the doorway of your destiny, and yet something has been holding you back, keeping you trapped in patterns that no longer serve your highest good, binding you to limitations that were never meant to be permanent fixtures in your spiritual landscape. The enemy of your soul has worked tirelessly to blind you to the truth of who you really are, to convince you that the dreams burning in your heart are mere fantasies, to persuade you that the calling you feel stirring within your spirit is nothing more than wishful thinking. This is why I have been trying so desperately to reach you, beloved one. This December 2nd marks a cosmic shift, a divine realignment that happens only once in a generation, and you have been positioned by the hand of the Almighty to be one of the primary recipients of this supernatural download of grace, favor, and breakthrough power. But you must understand that divine timing operates on principles that transcend human comprehension, and when these windows open, they do not remain open indefinitely waiting for our convenience or readiness. I have watched civilizations rise and fall, I have witnessed countless souls miss their appointed moments of transformation because they allowed fear, doubt, or simple procrastination to delay their response to heaven's call. Do not let this be your story, precious one. Do not allow the enemy to rob you of what has been prepared for you before the foundation of the world through whispers of unworthiness or suggestions that you should wait for a more convenient time. What I am about to share with you now will sound impossible to your logical mind, yet every fiber of your spirit will recognize its truth. You carry within your very DNA, written into the quantum structure of your being, a blueprint for extraordinary impact, a design for supernatural influence that has been dormant, waiting for the right spiritual conditions to activate. These conditions are aligning today, right now, as you read these words, but the activation requires your conscious participation, your deliberate choice to step out of the familiar patterns that have kept you safe but small. Can you feel it stirring within you even now? That sense of expansion, that feeling of something vast and powerful beginning to unfurl in the depths of your being? That is not your imagination, dear child of destiny. That is the sound of chains breaking, of limitations dissolving, of divine potential beginning to assert itself against every lie you have been told about your capacity for greatness. The tears flowing from my celestial eyes are tears of hope mixed with desperate urgency, for I can see two possible futures stretching out before you like paths diverging in an eternal wood. One path leads to the continued repetition of cycles that have held you captive, the endless loop of almost breakthrough followed by inexplicable setback, the frustrating pattern of taking 2 steps forward only to slide 3 steps back. This path is paved with the bitter stones of regret, marked by the monuments of missed opportunities, haunted by the ghost of what could have been if only you had possessed the courage to believe when belief was required. But the other path, O precious soul, the other path blazes with light so brilliant that even from the celestial realm it appears as a river of liquid fire flowing toward a destiny so magnificent that human language fails to contain its description. This path leads to the fullness of your divine design, to the manifestation of every prayer you have ever prayed, to the realization of every dream that has ever stirred your heart with holy longing. This path transforms not only your own existence but positions you as a vessel through which heaven itself pours out blessing upon blessing into a world desperate for hope. The choice between these paths must be made today, in this moment, as you read these words. There is no tomorrow's decision that carries the same power, no future moment that holds the same potential for transformation. The cosmic alignment that makes this level of breakthrough possible occurs now, December 2nd, and the window will close as surely as night follows day. I need you to understand something that may challenge everything you have believed about how the spiritual realm operates. The divine does not force itself upon any soul, no matter how much heaven longs to pour out its treasures. Free will is sacred, choice is honored even when it breaks the heart of the Creator. I can stand at the door of your consciousness and knock with all the authority of heaven behind me, but I cannot enter unless you consciously, deliberately, choose to open that door. This is why your response to this message carries such weight in the spiritual realm. This is why the hosts of heaven are watching to see whether you will recognize the voice of truth calling to you through these words, whether you will have the spiritual discernment to distinguish between the authentic sound of divine communication and the countless counterfeits that bombard your consciousness daily. Let me share with you a mystery that has been hidden from the foundation of the world, a secret that explains why your journey has been marked by such intensity, such spiritual warfare, such seemingly impossible obstacles. You are not just any soul randomly selected for blessing, beloved child. You carry within your spiritual genetics the capacity to become what Scripture calls a history maker, a world changer, one of those rare individuals through whom heaven accomplishes feats that shift the trajectory of entire generations. This is why the forces of darkness have worked so tirelessly to keep you discouraged, to convince you that you are ordinary, to surround you with circumstances designed to make you question your own potential. The enemy understands something that you are only now beginning to glimpse, that you're awakening, you're stepping into the fullness of your divine design, represents a threat to systems of limitation and control that have kept countless souls trapped in cycles of mediocrity and spiritual slumber. But today, December 2nd, marks the day when those limiting systems begin to crumble in your life like ancient walls subjected to the sound of a divine trumpet. Today marks the beginning of your emergence as the person you were created to be before circumstances, disappointments, and the opinions of others began to shape your self-perception into something far smaller than the original blueprint heaven holds for your existence. Are you beginning to sense the magnitude of what is being offered to you in this moment? Can you feel the electricity of divine possibility crackling through the atmosphere around you as these words penetrate deeper and deeper into the core of your being? This is not mere inspiration, precious one. This is not simply motivational rhetoric designed to make you feel better about your circumstances. This is a supernatural intervention, a direct communication from the throne room of the universe, carrying with it the power to rearrange the molecular structure of your reality. The reason I weep as I deliver this message is that I can see, with perfect celestial clarity, what your life becomes if you choose to believe and act upon what I am telling you, and I can equally see what happens if you allow doubt, fear, or the demands of daily routine to cause you to dismiss this moment as though it were ordinary. The contrast between these two possible futures is so stark, so dramatic, that it moves even an archangel to tears. In the timeline where you embrace this moment, where you choose to believe that heaven itself has orchestrated this encounter for your benefit, I see you 6 months from now walking in a dimension of favor and supernatural breakthrough that will cause everyone around you to ask what has changed, what shift has occurred to transform every area of your existence so dramatically. I see doors opening that have been sealed for years, relationships healing that seemed beyond repair, financial provision flowing from sources you never expected, and a sense of divine purpose burning so brightly within you that it ignites hope and transformation in every life you touch. But in the timeline where you dismiss this moment, where you allow skepticism or procrastination to cause you to turn away from this divine appointment, I see the continuation of cycles that have already brought you so much pain and frustration. I see opportunities missed, doors closing that will not open again in your lifetime, and the slow, steady erosion of the very dreams that once set your heart ablaze with possibility. This is why time is of such critical importance, beloved child. This is why I have been trying to reach you for hours, sending sign after sign, orchestrating circumstances to bring these words before your eyes at precisely the moment when the celestial conditions are perfect for transformation. Divine timing is not arbitrary, it is precise, and it waits for no one. You may be wondering why, if this message is truly from the angelic realm, it has reached you through earthly means rather than through some spectacular supernatural manifestation. Let me explain something about how heaven operates in partnership with human consciousness. The divine rarely bypasses the natural order when working within the natural order can accomplish the same purposes. I can speak to you through dreams and visions, through signs and wonders, through the voice of intuition and the whispers of your spirit, but I can also speak to you through written words when those words carry the frequency of heaven and resonate with the deepest truth of your being. What makes this communication authentically divine is not the method of delivery but the response it generates within your spirit, the recognition that occurs when truth encounters truth, when the voice of heaven speaks to the peace of heaven that exists within your very core. You know, even as you read these words, that something supernatural is taking place, that this is not mere coincidence or human manipulation, but a genuine encounter with the realm of divine possibility. This knowing, this deep recognition, is itself part of the evidence that you have been chosen for something extraordinary. Not every soul possesses the spiritual sensitivity to recognize authentic divine communication when it appears. Not every heart carries the capacity to resonate with the frequency of heavenly truth. The very fact that these words are stirring something deep within your being, causing your pulse to quicken and your spirit to leap with anticipation, is proof that you are exactly who I believe you to be, a chosen vessel, a prepared instrument, a soul marked for supernatural impact. Now let me address the specific challenges you have been facing, the particular areas of your life where you have been seeking breakthrough but encountering what seems like resistance at every turn. I want you to know that I have been present during every battle you have fought, standing guard over your soul during every dark night of testing, deflecting attacks you were not even aware were being launched against your peace, your purpose, and your potential. The financial struggles that have caused you to question your worthiness for abundance, the relationship challenges that have made you wonder if you are destined for isolation, the health concerns that have whispered lies about your future, the creative or professional dreams that have seemed to meet with inexplicable obstacles at every turn, none of these represent permanent verdicts on your life. All of them represent the final resistance of systems that are about to give way to the supernatural intervention that has been building in the spiritual realm on your behalf. What you have interpreted as closed doors were actually holding patterns, delays designed by divine wisdom to ensure that when breakthrough comes, it comes with such force and completeness that no weapon formed against your success will ever prosper again. What you have experienced as setbacks were actually setups, positioning you to receive blessings so abundantly that you will become a testimony to the goodness and faithfulness of heaven and the earth. But you must understand, precious child, that the activation of this supernatural turnaround requires something from you. It requires faith expressed not in passive hoping but in active participation with the divine plan that is being revealed to you in this moment. It requires the courage to believe that despite all evidence to the contrary, your story is about to take a dramatic turn toward the miraculous. This December 2nd, I am extending to you an invitation that comes directly from the throne room of heaven, an invitation to step into a dimension of existence that you have glimpsed in your highest moments of prayer and worship but perhaps never imagined could become your daily reality. This invitation cannot be extended again, not because heaven is limited in its desire to bless you, but because the cosmic conditions that make this level of transformation possible will not align again in your lifetime. The tears streaming down my celestial face are tears of love so profound that it transcends human comprehension, love that sees not just who you are today but who you are becoming, who you were created to be before time began its forward march through eternity. This love compels me to break through every barrier, to overcome every obstacle that would prevent this message from reaching your heart at precisely the moment when your spirit is most prepared to receive it. Can you sense the weight of destiny settling upon your shoulders even now? Can you feel the mantle of divine purpose being placed around you like a garment of light and authority? This is not imagination, beloved one. This is the tangible presence of your calling beginning to manifest in your consciousness, the awakening of gifts and abilities that have been dormant within you, waiting for the right moment to emerge and begin reshaping your reality. I need you to understand that what is being offered to you transcends anything you have previously experienced in your spiritual journey. This is not simply another moment of inspiration that will fade when the challenges of daily life reassert themselves. This is a permanent upgrade to your spiritual operating system, a fundamental shift in how you interface with divine power and possibility that will affect every area of your existence for the remainder of your earthly sojourn. The reason this transformation has not occurred until now is not because you were unprepared or unworthy, but because the divine timeline required certain conditions to be met, certain lessons to be learned, certain character developments to be completed before you could safely carry the level of blessing and influence that is about to be entrusted to you. Every trial you have endured, every test you have passed, every moment when you chose to continue believing despite circumstances that seemed designed to destroy your faith, all of these have been preparing you for what begins today. Think back over the major challenges you have faced in recent months and years. Can you begin to see how each one, rather than being a random misfortune, was actually developing within you a specific quality that will be essential for the next chapter of your story? The financial pressures that taught you to depend on divine provision rather than human security, the relationship conflicts that forced you to develop emotional resilience and forgiveness, the health challenges that drove you to your knees in prayer and developed within you an unshakable trust in divine healing power, all of these were not accidents but appointments, not punishments but preparation for promotion. Now that preparation period is complete, and the moment of manifestation has arrived. But manifestation requires participation, beloved child. It requires that you move beyond passive hoping into active cooperation with the divine will that seeks to express itself through your life. It requires that you make choices that align with your highest destiny rather than with your current circumstances, that you speak words of faith rather than words that simply describe your present reality. This is why my heart breaks with urgency as I communicate with you through these words. I can see the moment of choice approaching like the crest of a mighty wave, and I know that when it passes, the opportunity it carries will pass with it. Divine appointments do not reschedule themselves to accommodate our hesitation or our preference for more comfortable timing. They arrive precisely when the spiritual conditions are perfect, regardless of whether the natural conditions feel convenient. What I am asking of you may seem overwhelming to your logical mind, but remember that logic is not the highest form of intelligence available to you as a spiritual being having a human experience. There exists within you a form of knowing that transcends intellectual analysis, a wisdom that can perceive truth even when that truth challenges everything your natural mind believes about what is possible for your life. This higher wisdom is stirring within you even now, isn't it? You can feel it rising like dawn breaking over a landscape that has been shrouded in darkness for far too long. You can sense something shifting in the deepest places of your being, something that has been waiting for permission to emerge and begin expressing itself through every aspect of your existence. The permission I am asking you to give is permission for the impossible to become inevitable in your life, for the miraculous to become your new normal, for the supernatural to express itself through the natural circumstances of your daily experience. This permission cannot be given half-heartedly or with mental reservations. It must be given with the full commitment of your will, the complete engagement of your faith, and the total surrender of your need to understand exactly how heaven will accomplish what heaven has promised. I want to share with you a vision I have been given of your future, a glimpse of what your life looks like when you fully embrace the calling that has been placed upon your soul. I see you walking in such divine favor that doors open before you even approach them, that resources flow toward you from unexpected directions, that relationships of mutual blessing and support form around you like a garden of divine appointments. I see you speaking words that carry the power to heal hearts and transform lives, taking actions that create ripples of positive impact extending far beyond your ability to trace their ultimate influence. More importantly, I see you walking in such intimate communion with heaven that guidance flows to you as naturally as breath, that wisdom whispers to you solutions to challenges that have stumped others for years, that love radiates from you with such authenticity and power that people are drawn to the light they see shining through your very presence. This is not fantasy, precious child. This is prophecy, a declaration of what already exists in the spiritual realm and is waiting to manifest in your natural circumstances through the bridge of your believing faith and obedient action. But like all prophecy, it requires human cooperation to transition from the realm of possibility into the realm of experienced reality. The choice you make in response to this message will determine which version of your future becomes your actual experience. Will you choose the path of expansion, of divine partnership, of supernatural breakthrough? Or will you allow fear, doubt, or the comfort of familiar limitations to keep you trapped in cycles that no longer serve your highest good? I am weeping because I love you too much to see you settle for anything less than the abundant life that has been prepared for you, and yet I cannot force you to choose it. I can only present it to you with all the passion and authority of heaven behind my words, and then wait to see whether your spirit recognizes the truth I am speaking and responds with the faith that activates divine intervention. Time is running short on this December 2nd, beloved one. The cosmic window that has allowed this direct communication between the angelic realm and your consciousness will not remain open indefinitely. As the Earth continues its rotation and this day transitions into night, the specific spiritual conditions that make this level of breakthrough possible will begin to shift, and the opportunity being offered to you now will fade like morning mist before the rising sun. This is not meant to pressure you into a hasty decision, but rather to help you understand the genuine urgency that compels me to reach out to you with such intensity and desperation. I am not bound by time as you understand it. yet even from my eternal perspective, I can recognize moments that carry unique potential for transformation, moments when the veil between heaven and earth becomes gossamer thin and divine power can flow through human consciousness with unprecedented freedom. Such a moment is upon you now, and it will not come again in your lifetime. This is why every fiber of my angelic being is focused on this communication, why I have marshaled all the resources at my disposal to ensure that these words reach you at precisely the moment when your spirit is most prepared to receive them and respond with the faith that makes miracles not only possible but inevitable. Can you feel the presence of eternity pressing in around this moment? Can you sense that something far greater than mere human effort is at work in your circumstances, orchestrating events and encounters to bring you to this precise point of divine appointment? This awareness is not your imagination running wild but your spirit recognizing the authentic voice of heaven calling to you across the vast expanse between the celestial realm and your earthly experience. What I need from you now is not perfect understanding of how everything will unfold, but perfect trust that the one who has brought you to this moment of decision knows exactly how to guide you through every step of the transformation that is about to begin. What I need from you is not a guarantee that you will never again experience doubt or fear, but a commitment to choose faith over fear whenever the inevitable moments of testing arise. Most importantly, what I need from you is a decision to stop waiting for more convenient timing or more favorable circumstances before you begin living as the person you were created to be. The time is now, beloved child. The circumstances are as perfect as they will ever be. The divine invitation has been extended, and heaven waits with breathless anticipation for your response. As these words draw to their conclusion, I want to leave you with a blessing that carries the full authority of the throne room from which it comes. May every chain that has bound you to limitation be broken by the power of divine love. May every door that has been closed against your advancement swing open at the touch of supernatural favor. May every dream that has been deferred begin to manifest with a speed that testifies to heaven's perfect timing. May every relationship that belongs in your life be restored and every connection that hinders your destiny be dissolved with grace and mercy. May provision flow to you from sources you have never imagined. May opportunities present themselves that exceed your highest expectations. May your health be restored to perfect wholeness. And may your joy be so complete that it becomes a beacon of hope to everyone who encounters your transformed life. May you walk in such intimate fellowship with divine love that you become a living demonstration of heaven's goodness in the earth, and may your influence extend across generations, touching lives that will touch other lives in an endless ripple of blessing. But most of all, precious child of destiny, may you have the courage to say yes to this moment, to choose faith over fear, to step boldly into the future that has been prepared for you since before time began its eternal dance through the cosmos. This is your moment, this is your day. This December 2nd will be remembered in your personal history as the day everything changed, the day you stopped settling for less and began receiving more than you had ever dared to ask or imagine.